just so you know, this video is going to have a lot of spoilers for Paper Towns, so if you hadn't seen or read it, don't watch this video, okay? Good, good. So last week I was at my cousin's engagement party, and I overheard one of their friends telling one of my other cousins that she saw Paper Towns recently, and she was really disappointed that Quentin doesn't end up with Margot. And I got really excited when she said that, because that was my initial reaction when I read the book. Because when you read this type of story, you know, just this average Joe living his life, and then all of a sudden this amazing girl comes in and teaches him about life, you would expect him to end up with the girl. But, as we all know, that's not the point of Paper Towns at all. And I was really trying to articulate why it's not the point. But I did not, I kind of just did what I'm doing now, kind of got flustered, and I totally messed up what I was trying to say, and it didn't come across very well. But I've been thinking about it, and here I am a week later, gonna tell the internet why it's not the point. The love story of Paper Towns is not the point. I use air quotes because it's really not a love story. It's just kind of Quentin has this really obsession with Margot, and that's not love, okay? Like, we've all been there, you know, and we see this story constantly throughout the media where, like I said, guy likes girl, or he's just a guy living his normal life, and all of a sudden this girl comes into his life, and she changes it dramatically by telling him to just, like, live life and stop being so boring and, you know, like, dance in the fountain or scream profanities in a park. We see it all the time, so when we see the story yet again, we expect the guy to get the girl, because that's always what happens. But that's not the point that John Green is trying to make with this story. And I totally went over my head when I first watched it, but the more I thought about it, it became clear. It's about realizing that people aren't who you think they are. And people who do this all the time when they have crushes on people, or you just see people randomly and you assume just because they're acting a certain way when you see them, that they're like that all the time. But this especially happens when people have crushes on people, because I feel like our society really romanticizes the idea of that guy or girl next door who's just waiting patiently for their dream person to notice them. And we all do it. I did it once. And I remember through 5th through 8th grade I had this huge crush on this guy from my church. And all I really knew about him was that I found him attractive and I thought he was funny. I didn't try to get to know him because I was too shy and immature. And by the time I actually, I spent all this time like fantasizing about him, and then eventually I tried to actually start being his friend. It blew up in my face. He told me to stop liking him. And that's not the guy I was fantasizing about. I couldn't understand why he would say that to me, because that wasn't the guy. But I didn't really know the guy, and that's kind of the point of Paper Towns too. As much as Quentin thinks that he knows Margot, he doesn't. He knows his dream Margot, but he doesn't know Margot. And I think that this is such a good lesson to people who are in that situation where they sit there and they think, I'm perfect for this person because I know them like nobody else. But do you really? I think it's more you think you know the best version of them, but you don't. You know your version of them. And I think the whole point of Paper Towns is that you should try and actually get to know people. Like, this whole fantasizing and obsession thing, it's childish, and it's going to lead to heartbreak and misunderstanding. So if you really think that you're right for somebody, or you have a chance with somebody, you need to go for it and talk to that person instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and then just pining and pining and pining. Because what's that going to accomplish? Nothing. So that's kind of my point. And either way, we saw Paper Towns today, Tatum and I did, and it was fantastic. It makes me want to reread the book, and I want to go see the movie again, and it was just really good. And yeah, it was a great experience and totally awesome. So anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, go see it. It was so cool. And I hope you enjoyed this rambly rant, not really a rant, just really a ramble about my thoughts about this, and let me know what you thought. Okay? Cool. Bye!